In 2020, there is no doubt that stories are powerful. Profitable storytelling is a thing. And I don't even mean just Instagram stories. I'm talking about stories across multiple platforms. We have Facebook stories, we have YouTube stories, and I'm sure there are other stories that exist that I don't even know about. It's not terribly surprising that storytelling is so important in 2020. I really do think we've shifted away from this idea of mass marketing and trying to reach millions of people, and we've really moved more towards relationship marketing. And this is clear to me because stories and storytelling are so key to growing businesses today. I mean, if you think about it, storytelling is pretty much the most basic form of human communication that we have since the dawn of mankind. We have been storytelling, whether they are pictures on walls or actually speaking to each other. We've been storytelling since the beginning. And so now business owners who are really incorporating storytelling into their business on a day-to-day basis are seeing the results through their revenue. If you've ever struggled to understand Instagram stories for your business, especially in 2020, because there are a million features, there are so many apps. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't really know what to focus on in terms of actually growing your business, well, you're in luck. This is what today's video is on. I am covering Instagram stories for your business in 2020. And be sure to stay until the end. I'm going to share with you my secret trick and tool on how you can get 365 Instagram stories done and ready for your business today. I'm Elise Darma, and I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs like yourself use Instagram to actually grow your business. So in this video, I'm not going to inundate you with every and all feature included in Instagram because there is a lot. If you've downloaded the app and checked it out, you'll know that there are so many buttons and so many fun tools and stickers you can use, it can be a bit of a black hole. So my goal for you in today's video is just to give you the most salient features and tips you need to know about using Instagram for your business. Right off the bat, the very first question I get is, Elise, how often should I be posting to my Instagram stories to grow my business? The answer to this question differs a little bit depending on whether you are a personal brand or a product-based brand, or even a brand that's just not based off of you as a person. But in general, I recommend for businesses to post 3 times a day. That's right, and I'm not talking about your feed, so it's actually not as much work as it is to post your feed. I'm talking about your stories. If you can get into the habit, whether it's you or your team member, of posting to your stories in the morning, the afternoon, and the nighttime, what's going to happen is you are going to stay at the top of your followers' feeds every single time you post. More and more Instagram users are spending majority of their time checking out stories and not really scrolling their feed. So if you need to make some sacrifices and post less in your feed so that you can show up more in your stories, I think that's a-okay. The next question I get is, Elise, how do I use Instagram story highlights? This is a great question because they are one of the most underutilized tools. If you're not sure what highlights are, they are essentially saved Instagram stories that live on your profile for longer than 24 hours. So the average Instagram story expires after 24 hours. But if you've created a piece of content that you want to live on your profile forever, as long as you want, then you can save it as a highlight to your profile. The key with highlights is to treat them as if Instagram is your website and the highlights are your navigation menu. So what does this mean? A website typically has things like home, about, services, work with me, client reviews, contact me. These are all great highlights for you to first build out in your stories and then save as a highlight on your profile. I go deeper into highlights over in this video right here, which is also great for you to give your profile a little refresh. The next question I get is, how can I actually use Instagram, a free social media app, to really grow my business? And these are the top features and ways that I like to use Instagram to grow my business today. The first is using Instagram stories to make announcements. So these announcements could be about your products or offers, but they could also be about your clients, your customers, and your community. Everyone loves a shout out, and Instagram stories is the perfect place to highlight either a customer or a community member or something that you're offering. A lot of times us business owners, we think that our community knows everything about what we do and they are on top of all of the details, but the truth is everyone is busy and we need to show up at least 3 times a day on stories to continually remind people of who we are and what we have to offer. So whenever you've got something to announce, Instagram stories should be the first place you do it. The second way you can grow your business through Instagram is to collaborate with other accounts. So there's a few ways you can do this. You could arrange an Instagram story takeover where someone in your industry or maybe one of your community members gets access to your Instagram account for the day. They jump on your stories, they introduce themselves to your followers, and they just give a new perspective from their lens to your followers. This is actually a great way to build visibility for your brand because in exchange, you can do a takeover for their profile. So what you're effectively doing is putting each other in front of each other's followers, which is essentially a great way to invite this other person's followers over to your profile. So if you do a takeover or a collaboration, maybe once a month, with really targeted industry partners, this could be a really good way to get in front of new followers. Another way you can collaborate with other profiles is to go live with them. Now you have the ability to host a joint Instagram live stream. So this is pretty cool actually. You jump on live first and then as a viewer, they can request to join their live. So of course you're gonna pre-arrange this beforehand. And then there's gonna be a split screen where the two of you are talking. Both of your audiences are going to be notified that you're live together. So this is really what the key is, because again, this is a really good way to sort of cross-pollinate and mix and match your audiences so that you're getting in front of new targeted people. Another way you can use Instagram in 2020 to grow your business is using the polls and a few of the stickers to get market research on your audience. Polls are an incredible way to really gauge the temperature of your followers. It could be as simple as asking them to vote on a new product name you're coming up with or a new design that you have created. The point is to involve them in the process so that when you do launch your new offer or your new product, they actually feel like they contributed and it's not coming out of the blue. They've seen the hints, they've seen the progress of you developing this product, they've contributed, they've voted, and then when you launch the product, they're already familiar with the idea and they're actually more primed to buy. If you feel like the poll sticker is too limiting because it only gives you 2 options, you could definitely use the question sticker, which is basically an open form for people to input anything into, and you just give them an open-ended question. Or there is the quiz sticker. So the quiz sticker is really fun because you don't actually have to use it as a way to quiz your audience, but it's sort of like a poll, but with more options. So if you want your audience to vote on 4 things instead of 2, you can use the quiz sticker for that. Another way you can sell your products and offers through Instagram is to drive urgency. Now, this is just a basic sales principle where you need scarcity and urgency for people to take action. And the countdown sticker is really great to drive urgency. So anytime you are live launching or you're running a limited time promotion, make sure to include the countdown sticker in your stories because people can actually select it and be notified as it's counting down. And then when they've missed the countdown, when they're viewing an older story where the countdown's already expired, the countdown sticker sort of explodes and animates a little bit to let them know like they've missed it. So this is again a really great way to drive people to take action because they see that time is ticking. Lastly, another great way to grow your business on Instagram is sharing multiple links through IGTV videos. So a lot of people believe that they need 10,000 followers in order to get the swipe up feature in stories, which is true. But did you know that you can share multiple links through your IGTV channel? IGTV channels are relatively untapped. I don't know if people have really caught on to their power, but if you are a video type person, if you find Instagram stories to be too limiting, you can kind of relay that same skill over to IGTV videos, which are longer than Instagram stories. And then when you post them to your channel, you have a description box. And that description box is a great place to drive people to many links. All right, here is the big money-making question. How do I actually drive sales through Instagram? In my experience, the best way to drive sales, separate from everything I've just shared, is to really spend time in the direct messages. There is gold in the DMs. And yes, it's not something you can automate. And yes, you're probably going to be the one to be answering people. But this is where it comes back to really building relationships versus focusing on mass marketing. It doesn't have to be you in the DMs. It could be a team member, but the point is someone should be monitoring them. Oftentimes when I'm sharing a product or an offer in my stories, those who are on the fence are going to privately message me through my DMs, and that's where I close the sale. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, check out this video here where I have covered my entire DM sales strategy. The last big question I get about using Instagram stories for business is, what do I share? Like, that is the big question, right? It's one thing to show up 3 times a day, but what am I sharing in my stories? So luckily for you, I have actually given you 12 story ideas right here. Check out this video where I give you prompts that you can use for your business today. And the cool thing is they're not random, they're not generic prompts. They're categorized for you to pick from depending on the season of business that you're in. So if right now you just need more visibility, there's prompts for that. I also have given you prompts on how to get engagement, how to get leads, and how to close sales. Because that essentially is the whole flow of business, right? You need attention, you need people to be warmed up to you, you need them to become a lead, and then a sale. So if you want 12 prompts for free, check out that video. Or if you want 365 prompts for your entire year, I invite you to check out Story Vault 365. It is a vault of Instagram story prompts and ideas you can use for the entire next year of your business. And of course, I have categorized those prompts by the season of business that you're in. So I cover visibility, engagement, leads, and sales. So when you join Story Vault 365, depending on the season that you're in, you're gonna log into your private portal, check out the prompts, and use the ones that are most relevant to the season you're in. Story Vault 365 is really a summary of who I am. I am a no fluff person, and I don't do things without intention. I don't believe in you showing up on social media just for the sake of it. I want there to be strategy and intention, and that's why I have created 365 prompts for you to use in your B2B business. If you enjoyed my training on how to use Instagram stories for business, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss any future trainings. And of course, I truly hope to see you inside of Story Vault 365. It is not a course, it's not a coaching program, it is literally a vault of a year's worth of ideas that I give to you. So I'm super excited for you to join and get inside. To ease and revenue, I'll see you in the next video. Basically, the must know, the need to do. What did I say? Just kidding.
There's no question.
Oh, right. Good. You literally remembered my first line. I'll see you in the next video.
Good job.
I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.